Greetings, adventurers. This is DM Kurt. And so, the big thing in the last 24 hours was, of course, Wizards of the Coast pulling some shenanigans. So, allegedly, this YouTuber had bought some Magic the Gathering cards from a shop that had mistakenly received several boxes of Magic cards early, the official release date not being up yet. So he's like, "Oh, okay, hey, you know what? I just bought these cards, and here's what they all are." And it goes through this whole spiel of uh, showing what they are and what the rules are and how cool they are. Okay, it's before the official release date, but he'd bought them legally through a shipping error on the part of Wizards of the Coast. Okay, cool. You know, Wizards could have gave him a copyright strike, or they could have emailed him, "Hey, please take that down because it's a spoiler." All right, could have. Instead, allegedly, they sent the Pinkerton Detective Agency, which I thought was no longer a thing, but I guess they're still around, even though they are a subsidiary of Securitas now. They still exist in their own, which is interesting. And these guys show up at the dude's house, kind of barge their way in through bluster and threat of, "Well, you're going to go to jail," stuff like that. Make the guy's wife cry, pushing their way in, with a bunch of BS. They probably showed some badges. Well, maybe their company issues badges, but those really have no more weight than an ID card. Company ID card. "Hey, I work at Microsoft. I can get into the office by swiping this card." It's the same thing. It has no more legal backing. You're Paul Blart Mall Cop, except, they like to hire ex-cops, ones who are retired or maybe fired for various reasons. Okay, they like that. Hire the bold and the stern. To give themselves a little more tough guy image when it comes to stuff like this. They take all the guys' new Magic cards and even the little foil wrappers, and all that. So, sounds to me like robbery. If you take something through force or threat of force, that's robbery. And if you are armed, then whether or not you draw your weapon, that would be armed robbery. You have a pistol in a holster and you kind of just have your hand on it, just to let people know that you're willing to draw on them. There's no indication that they were armed. I believe they probably were. And there's no statement that they drew any weapons or anything like that. But it's still robbery, in my opinion. Wizards was asked about it, and they said, "Well, yes, we do hire Pinkerton Detective Agency as part of our loss prevention." Okay. All right, so we know that there's at least some credibility to this, because the guy used the name Pinkerton specifically for a reason. Either to engender sympathy towards him, maybe this is all a hoax on his part, but, if it was anybody other than Wizards, I'd be really doubtful. This is just slimy. Slimy is all get out. Y'all hired goons to commit a robbery. All right? Not cool. I'm not a Magic the Gathering guy, but I do not appreciate this at all. And I was already a little annoyed at WotC. WotC doesn't want my money. And that's okay. That's okay. Your executives stated, "White men can't get out of this hobby fast enough." I'm paraphrasing, but that was the intent. White men, or men like me, white men, can't get out of here fast enough for the hobby. Not for the company, for the hobby. Get out. Okay, you're welcome to be racist on your own time and on your own dime, and not on mine. And I can't say that Kyle Brink stood alone, because the company backed him. They did not repudiate his racist statements. They did not push him to the back room. They kept him right out front. They did not fire him. They stood by him and supported him. Are you trying to implode your brand? Are you trying to attack all the customers you got? Just working on some of the D&D ones, some of the Magic the Gathering fans, whatever. One of these, if you send your goons out again, you might end up at the wrong house, and things might not go as well. You may end up with somebody who records the whole thing and reports you for robbery. That'll be even worse. So, yeah, knock it off, WotC. You certainly pissed off your customers. Think about it. DM Kurt, out.